Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we're using somewhat of a more standard team, but I wanted to feature this team because it has had an incredible run throughout the last couple of weeks. It was created by a Korean player called Jeong Seong-jae, and he was able to get top 4 at a grassroots tournament organized by Victory Road this past weekend, and I think that had over 250 players. But what's even more impressive is that he was able to get this team to #1 on Pokemon Showdown, and his rating is over 2100, which I actually don't think I've ever seen in VGC before. In addition to that, he has 6 accounts in the top 15, all basically using this team, which is absolutely crazy to me. So I know it's a little bit more standard, but it does have some really neat tricks up its sleeve. For example, you've got the Yawn Focus Sash Torkoal, you've got the Lunberry Charizard, the Life Orb Venusaur, and instead of Rhyperior, which you often see on these compositions, there's actually a Tyranitar. This Tyranitar also has high horsepower instead of superpower, so you're able to get special defense boosts through something like Max Quake. Finally, you have Scope Lens Togekiss, but this has Protect, which makes it a little bit more difficult to target. So, you know, this is kind of another variation of Sun, and I think it's super impressive that the player that created this was able to do so well with it just repeatedly on both Showdown and on in the Victory Road tournament. So if you want to follow his Twitter, I'll link in the description below, but he's also posted a tournament slash team report for this, so I'll link that in the description below. It is in Korean, but I think, you know, using Google Translate, you should be able to see most of the details, and if you play with this team in game, you'll obviously be able to see the spreads or whatnot. So thank you to him for publishing it, and yeah, let's just jump into it. I think, as you'll notice, we are in Series 4 of VGC 2020, so, you know, Gmax Gengar, Gmax Machamp, some other Gmax Pokemon are now allowed, but unlike Lapras, which I think had a really big impact when we shifted formats, I don't think those are going to be as relevant. That being said, I'd still like to feature them on the channel, so I'm trying to get some new teams built around those, but yeah, this team I think has been super impressive just because of the run that the creator has had with it throughout the last couple of weeks, and I mean, once again, 2100 rating on Showdown is absolutely crazy. So, question of the day, I'm curious, what's the highest that you guys have ever climbed on either the Pokemon Showdown ladder or the in-game ladder? I haven't played on Showdown for quite a while now, but back in the day when I prepare for tournaments, I'd always aim for, as we're actually going up against Graham Amedee, which should be really exciting. I think I've been able to get to #1 before, but that was like long time ago. But we're up against Graham. If you guys don't know who Graham is, he got second at the 2019 US International Championships, losing to Wolfie in the finals. He's one of the best players from Australia, and he top cut Worlds last year as well. So, this is going to be interesting. He, I think, has a YouTube channel as well, so I'll link it in the description below. Ludicolo Dracozolt Snorlax. I think I've actually seen Graham use Yawn Snorlax before, so I'm curious if that's what's coming our way. I feel like Tyranitar is really good here. I'm not very confident in the Charizard mode, mainly because of Dracozolt. Like, if he just leads Whimsicott Dracozolt, that could be problematic. So something I'm thinking of leading with is Dusclops. I could go the Trick Room route this game, right? Where I go Dusclops, Togekiss with Torkoal and Tyranitar. The scary thing here is that I'll need a Bulldoze before he gets the Milo out, I think. You know what's also interesting? It's just a turn 1 Bulldoze, because the Whimsicott could have Taunt. Maybe Venusaur, actually, over Togekiss, now that I think about it, because we could max Venusaur. Yeah, I'm going to opt for Venusaur, actually. So this gives me a Tailwind option, but it also... Or sorry, it gives me a Trick Room option, but it also gives me a Speedy option with the Sun. So we'll see how this goes. If you want to try out this team, it's a rental team, so feel free to give it a shot. And yeah, go check out Graham as well. Link his Twitter and YouTube in the description below. And as always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share your support by leaving a like in the video, and I really appreciate it. I think I'm actually also going to be streaming a little bit later tonight after this video goes up, so I hope to catch you there at twitch.tv/CybertronVGC. It's going to be Whimsicott Dracozolt. Okay, that's kind of what I anticipated. Maybe the Togekiss stuff would have just worked out here, but it's not the end of the world either. I mean, I'm curious if he just opts to go for like a Taunt. Sash. White Herb Dracozolt. Now that's interesting. We have Ally Switch. I honestly expect the Taunt here. We saw the Focus Sash, so it's not like I can KO Whimsicott either way. Could just go out into Torkoal immediately. But I don't want that to take damage, I think. I mean, I want to Ally Switch because I really do think you Taunt here. Because otherwise, he didn't have a great way to stop Trick Room. So something like Ally Switch. Could even max Venusaur, which doesn't seem terrible here. And go for max Quake. Oh, whoa. Onto Dracozolt. Yeah, I feel like Ally Switch is really in my favor here right now. He's gonna max first, but that's fine. Actually, that's a problem because it means he's faster than me. Yeah, faster than Venusaur. Even if he sets up Tailwind and I set up Sun, he'll still be faster. So let's see if it. I'm reading Taunt, but it could just have been a double up into the. Yeah, double up into the side. The reason why I wanted to go with Togekiss was specifically to counter Dracozolt, so I could just follow me Trick Room and then get Tyranitar in, and then bulldoze max Quake or max Rockfall. So that would have actually worked out perfectly for us, but I didn't trust my gut in the end. And Venusaur being slower than the Zolt here is also problematic, but that's not the end of the world. Okay. So, gonna max Venusaur. Yeah, I should have just trusted my gut and got with the Togekiss option. So Turtle and Ally Switch is always kind of cheeky. He might have just been going for a Wormwind onto one of these two slots. Let's see. Yep, there was the taunt. So that was expected, because he didn't look like he had a great Trick Room counter otherwise. It was actually going to be max Quake. Okay. Yeah, targets the Venusaur slot, so that goes into Dusclops now. I think I'm fine with that. We're Life Orb, so I wonder if max Quake here still does around 50%. I don't know. Probably not, actually. But, I mean, Dracozolt's not a very bulky Pokemon. Just under. Just under. Okay. So this next turn is really interesting, right? Because what do you read here? Do you Tailwind? There's no way you can let me set up Trick Room, right? Like, I think you max Wormwind into the from Dracozolt into Dusclops and maybe Tailwind. It's a shame that it's just under half. That was a good max Quake on his end. It looks like a roll. I mean, that looks literally just like 50% of damage there. So, I mean, I do want a max Quake here. Nope. Max Quake. I don't think he Tailwinds here, does he? Maybe it's fine to switch out into Torkoal here. No, I mean, because we're sashed, I actually think it would have been better just to conserve. Maybe sack Dusclops, get the free switch in. Oh, he does switch out Whimsicott, though, which I think is good for us. Into Incineroar. Okay. I think that's a favorable turn for us. Because this means that he has Incineroar and Whimsicott, both which are pretty weak to Tyranitar. And the game plan going into this game was to actually max the Tyranitar, so I'll take this. Problem is that the Torkoal here... It's going to be probably eating up a max Wormwind if I had to guess, but he might have tried to red Ally Switch again. But the safe play, I think... this max Quake also might just KO. I think if this KOs, we just win the game right now. So let's see. Just short. I wonder what the roll is there. But it's not the end of the world, because that means he doesn't get Tailwind up, which is why I wanted to go for the Torkoal Venusaur route this game. See if it's max Lightning, max Wormwind. Ooh, he's actually just max Quaking again. Okay. Into Venusaur this time. Not bad. Okay, that works out. This next turn is tricky because he could very easily just go for something like Protect with Dracozolt and then Flare Blitz into Venusaur. We can't max guard either, so we don't have counterplay to that, do we? I don't think so. But we do have Focus Sash here, right? And Tyranitar would set up the Sand. He's at +1 special defense. Like, I could just go for a max Quake and Earth Power because I have that. I think that seems fine to me, actually. I mean, I really read the Dracozolt guarding here. Maybe he doesn't have guard. Okay. I mean, this is still not the end of the world, but knocking out Dracozolt would have been really good because that thing outspeeds my entire team. Unless Venusaur somehow doesn't go down here, but it should go down. Just means that Torkoal takes unnecessary damage. Max Lightning into Torkoal, yep. That's a really bulky Dracozolt. I mean, he's not doing very much damage, and that's what happens when I guess you don't have Life Orb. Interesting. Yeah, Flare Blitz. It's kind of frustrating. I mean, you always have Wormwind Lightning. He had Quake. I don't know what the last attack would have been. I mean, this is still not the end of the world because we still have Tyranitar in the back. I don't think Earth Power KOs here, does it? No. I think that's AV Incineroar. Yeah, that's definitely AV. Okay, I mean, we get to bring in Could bring in Dusclops, but a double up would KO. But then the question is, can you basically double to KO the Dusclops? I mean, Tyranitar I think is a safer bet here. This is an intense game. I feel like I did not play this super well. Had I just gone for the target onto the Dracozolt, I mean, if Dracozolt guards there though, right, it's super bad for me, and I didn't know the item on Incineroar. I was thinking I could get that KO, but he had the Assault Vest. I wonder then if it's not Hustle. I don't think it's Hustle. It's probably Volt Absorb Dracozolt, isn't it? That's my guess. I want to protect here in Heat Wave. I guess it's better. I don't really care about Incineroar. He might have a fighting type attack on it if it's Assault Vested, which is what I'm worried about. So I'm leaning towards protect. Heat Wave does cover the Whimsicott switch in here. Okay, let's see. I mean, it's pretty easy for him to just go for like Parting Shot and Bolt Beak, which also could have been a play. Okay, he does Bolt Beak into Tyranitar. That's good. Snarl. Okay, I'll take that. This should be a double KO, I think, as long as Heat Wave hits. I mean, I'm at -1 special attack, but Sand is really actually the main thing that's helping out here. Nah, but we miss. I mean, that's the risk of using Heat Wave. Ugh, it doesn't even... Yeah, that's frustrating. I guess I should have just Earth Powered, but I don't... I mean, if you didn't have Snarl there, that's also worth it. I guess I have to switch out right now because I think Tyranitar's the win con, so I switch out into Dusclops. Yeah, Sand's definitely KOing Dracozolt now. The thing is, he has Whimsicott, right? Whimsicott doesn't really do that much against Tyranitar, so it's a question of what his last Pokemon is. But I could have Earth Power to play safer, but I think I don't really regret the Heat Wave there because if he doesn't have Snarl that KOs Incineroar, it also covers for imparting shot and going back out into Whimsicott potentially. Just an unfortunate roll there. Okay, he's going to swap out Incineroar. That's a good switch, I think. Yeah, so I mean, like, this is what I was trying to cover for last turn, basically. We'll see if he Bolt Beaked the... Who we Bolt Beaked here, though. Because we have, like, Alice, which also could help us out right now. Okay. Break the Sash here on Whimsicott with Sand, too. Oh, so he is Hustle, it looks like. But Heat Wave would have been better there. Yeah, it's frustrating. I was just surprised at how little damage it did against Torkoal earlier. That's interesting. Yeah. So it's frustrating because I went for Earth Power. Like, Heat Wave would have been excellent there, but then I was like super scared of missing. Because I think the instant would hang on for one more turn of Sand, so I ended up playing safer. Still not the end of the world, though. It really comes down to what his last Pokemon is. It's going to be Snorlax. Now, that's very interesting. The question is, are you like Belly Drum Lax? We have Yawn, but unfortunately it's not enough right now. I mean, if it is Belly Drum Lax, I think we probably just lose. We do have Ally Switch, though, so not necessarily, I guess. I mean, he's probably... Is he Belly Drum with this team? I think I'm just going to go for Nightshade Heat Wave here. Could I Ally Switch Taunted? But at this point, Tyranitar should outspeed Snorlax. Now, the problem is that we don't have... I think what I want to go for here is hopefully KO Whimsicott. And then this following turn, switch out Torkoal into Tyranitar while bulldozing to give the weakness policy activation. Not having superpower might hurt us here, though. I think we definitely had a good matchup in this one, but I didn't play it super well. Although I guess because he had Snorlax, okay, he's just going to taunt, which is fine. Yep, that was expected. I mean, Snorlax should outspeed Torkoal here, right? Okay, goes for Double Edge. I think that's alright. Because now what I can do is... Maybe I should have bulldozed this last turn. I wonder how fast this Snorlax is relative to Tyranitar. Well, about to find out. I'm just double checking how much speed this thing has. He is Brave. Okay. So then the other question is, does Snorlax have a fighting type attack? I mean, most don't, right? So, like, what I want to do here is just Bulldoze and Rock Slide. Maybe Bulldoze Crunch is better, because... Whimsicott could have Moonblast, though. I mean, probably does. Yeah, so I think I Bulldoze Rock Slide here. This is intense. Very intense. Little frustrating because of the 2 Torkoal turns, where, like, I missed the Heat Wave to not KO Dracozolt, but I guess he did miss the Torkoal as a result. I mean, in return, so... Yeah. Although, like, I ended up, getting an Earth Power off that turn, which wasn't super relevant anyway. Whimsicott protects. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so we know we're faster with Tyranitar. That's actually a big deal. Ah! That's a big avoid. Oh, that's frustrating. Because if we, like, we need all the damage we can get before it gets boosted up. That might be... Okay. I mean, it's not over yet, but that makes this significantly harder. We will at least get the weakness policy off here, but it might be too late. Because he can just Psycho and Intimidate as well now. I wish we had Superpower. Or Haze. We do have the speed advantage, right? So we can flinch this thing too. And Tailwind's not going to help him out here either. Snorlax. I've not seen that in quite a while. Okay. I mean, if anything, I think the Whimsicott would switch out into Incineroar. Maybe you just sack it. Either way, I think I Rock Slide here. Although Nightshade probably KOs Whimsicott, so I could go for... The thing is whether I want to fish for flinches right now. Crunch can lower defense, and it's stronger too. I'm at +1 attack, so I think I'm actually going to Crunch Nightshade here. Because Whim doesn't really scare me that much. She's going to Dazzling Gleam. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay. I mean, he might just high horsepower Tyranitar for a KO. Yep, there's the berry. No defense drop, unfortunately. I think the Snorlax is going to wall me out now, which sucks. Maybe it's better to actually just go for Rock Slide flinches. But if we get a defense drop there too, that's huge. Yeah, he is Yawn. Like I mentioned, I thought he had Yawn-Lax. So Yawn, Curse, Double Edge. What's the last attack then, though? That's the question. It's just that Dusclops can't touch Snorlax. I'm just wondering if he doesn't have high horsepower, so he's forced to Double Edge us. I mean, he could have Recycle. It's like a testament to old Snorlaxes. I mean, you have to fake out the Tyranitar here, right? Alternatively, actually, you just go for a Dark-type attack. I mean, I guess. I could Ally Switch here. What do I think his last attack? I would guess Recycle if he's running Yawn stuff. What I want to read right now is the Incineroar to just Darkest Lariat. Oh, he has Snarl, Fake Out, Flare Blitz. He's Assault Vest, so it's probably U-turn, so I don't think he has... I mean, I think I just Nightshade here then. Rock Slide. If he has high horsepower, I think it's game. Although I don't think it KOs Tyranitar at +1 attack. But we're neutral now, he's at +1 defense, so I think he just curses up. Yeah, okay, he does Fake Out. Okay, that's fine, yeah. If only Snorlax more normal type. Well played, Graham. Very well played. It's gonna curse again, yeah. Oh, the return of Snorlax. I didn't anticipate that going into this game, and I think if we wanted to deal with it... I'm actually not sure what the best approach was, because we don't have a super effective attack, but it would involve maybe Torkoal getting an Eruption off. Okay. I mean, I think he just keeps cursing up now. Yeah. I mean, I can't do anything with Tyranitar this first turn. Curse, Yawn, and Double Edge is a really interesting combination of attacks. I'm doing more damage to Tyranitar with Bulldoze. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be bulldozing here. If he has Recycle, we're all been done for. This last one's Darkest Lariat, okay. So he doesn't actually have Recovery. Interesting. Ally Switch would have been the play there then. Yeah, Ally Switch actually definitely would have been the play. We can still pull this off then. Because he doesn't have a great way to hit us. He's at +2 defense, but we're at +1 attack. It's not over. Yeah, it's really not if we wake up here. I should have Ally Switch to cover that option then. Yeah, Ally Switch was always the better play. We stay asleep too. Okay. He curses again? No, he just Double Edges. Does this 2-hit KO us? I don't think it does. Oh, never mind. That definitely does. Okay, we need a Rock Slide crit here then. We need to wake up and crit. Or sorry, flinch. Flinch or crit. Even a flinch I don't think wins it for us. You do wake up. Rock Slide comes out. This game is so crazy. Yeah, it's not enough. Flinch? No. Good game, Graham. I really should have gone for the ally switch. I'm not sure the Bulldoze was worth it there in the end. I mean, I just wanted any damage against that thing, but I didn't know its last attack yet, so Tyranitar definitely was the win con in this game. I think what I wanted to do initially, my game plan was to Dynamax the Tyranitar, right, under Trick Room, but then I ended up not going with that plan. Mainly because of the lead matchup. The other turn was, yeah, not getting the KO onto Dracozolt was kind of frustrating, and then obviously missing the KO onto Dracozolt when I Heat Waved was also frustrating. But I could have Earth Powered that turn. Like, I called the 2 turns incorrectly with the Torkoal, basically, where the first turn ate up the Snarl, and then didn't KO Incineroar, or didn't KO either Pokemon there. Yeah, and then the second turn when the Whimsicott got to come in for free. So, that was a really intense game, though. It was a really, really good game, and, you know, Graham is a world-class player, so hats off to him. Next game of the day has a Rillaboom and an Aegislash. Interesting. Sun mode is kind of tempting in this game. Is there value in Charizard? Max Charizard seems like it could do work. But obviously I have to worry just about Tyranitar Excadrill lead. I could just go with Venusaur, right? And then switch in Torkoal. Venusaur Dusclops here is interesting. It's kind of like the same option I was going for in that last game, but I think it might work out better this time around. I really want to max Charizard, but I don't know. I mean, we're against Tyranitar and Excadrill. Just not a great matchup for it. He's likely self-Shadow Sneak on a Dragapult and fake out Rillaboom, right? So his approach to stopping Trick Room is just one-shotting Dusclops. I don't know. I don't feel very good about Charizard in this matchup when my opponent is Tyranitar Excadrill. Mainly because even if I max the Charizard, I just get KO'd by a Rock Slide in return, which is never super good. Yeah, I think that last game, my win con was just getting Tyranitar under Trick Room and maxing. I mean, he did have Yawn, though, so honestly, his way to beat me, even if Trick Room gets us, is switch out the Snorlax and then Yawn me. And I would not have anticipated the Yawn curse set. So that was really cool to see. So he's going to go for the Aegislash, right? Okay. Here's what's scary. We have Sleep Powder, but I hate gambling on the turn ones. We do have Ally Switch as well, actually. That could work. Yeah, I mean, the play I could very easily go for here is just actually sacrifice Venusaur to get the free switch in into Tyranitar. The alternative is to just Sleep Powder the Dragapult while switching out into Torkoal. And I guess that's actually relatively safe because you should target down the Dusclops slot. So even if I miss, I can just get priority Sleep Powder again the next turn. One of the reasons I don't like playing with Venusaur is because it's so variant. I mean, there's so much variance. I mean, he actually switches out into... Okay. Tyranitar? That makes sense. You break the Sash, but fortunately, because Dusclops is slower, we actually win the Weather War here, which is humongous for us, especially if Dragapult maxes. It might just guard here, though, or protect here, if I had to guess, but now we've got Sash Torkoal in with Yawn Pressure and a fast Venusaur, which might consider Dynamaxing next turn. Depends on what Dragapult does here. Okay. Well, that is the downside, of course, of using Venusaur like that, but it's not the end of the world. Hitting that would have been really nice, but I can't complain. I want to max here and switch out. I mean, I think you probably max the Tyranitar and Rockfall. But then the question is, who do you Rockfall? Probably Venusaur, right? I mean, I could also just Sleep Powder here. But you could also switch out. So the question here is what I want to do with Venusaur. I think I want to go on the offense here. I'm going to Dynamax Overgrowth and go for a Heat Wave. Because I can see Tyranitar switching out here. It's pretty risky to max in front of me, I think, right now. Because if you max and I just Sleep Powder, you're in so much trouble. That Phantom Force should be going out into Torkoal, I think. So, that, I mean, that last turn shows exactly the downside of just trying to hit a blind Sleep Powder turn one. I mean, obviously, it's like more in your favor, 75% accurate, but it's never ideal. That being said, I think Venusaur is one of the scariest Pokemon to play against in the format, especially because people are running Wide Lens. Okay, nice. He does not max, but doesn't switch out either, so this actually works out. Especially if we just KO here. Oh, beautiful. Okay, that's super good for us because now we win the Weather War. He can't change the weather back now. I should have yawned Dragapult. Yawning would have been really good. Because now the problem is that you can bring the Aegislash back in, as Phantom Force should hit to Torkoal. And you can go for the self-Shadow Sneak stuff. Actually, single target Heat Wave might do a fair amount of damage here. Let's see. It's not bad. It's not great damage either. Okay, so we at least win the Weather War here, which is good. I mean, it's still scary, but I think what I can do this next turn... I also have Tyranitar, which is, one of the better answers against Dragapult. The thing you have to be aware of is if I switch in Tyranitar, I lose the Sun, right? And yeah, Aegislash comes back in. You probably self-Shadow Sneak here. I kind of feel like I actually need to KO Aegislash because that's likely to have a fighting type attack. So what I want to do is max Quake it. Yawn is actually compelling here into the Dragapult. Yeah. I like that. Because you're going to max Dragapult here 100%, yeah. So you can see if I hit that Sleep Powder turn 1, my opponent just doesn't get the Phantom Force off, so I don't take damage on a Torkoal, and it's a lot riskier to just max it after I KO Tyranitar. But, of course, they might have played the game differently. They might have considered maxing the Tyranitar or protecting it in that situation instead of just sacking it. So, yeah, well done by my opponent to get around the Sleep Powder in my Dynamax so far. Yep, so Aegislash changes stances. No surprise there. We know it's Focus Sash. That's pretty much always the case with these teams. She did a lot of damage to itself through Shadow Sneak. So now I'm really curious who it targets. Maybe we should have just Heat Wave there instead of Max Quake. I mean, I feel like you target the... maybe something like Max Quake into Dragapult and Heat Wave would have been better. He's gonna Phantasm into Torkoal. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I expected. So that's actually fine then, I think. Okay. Yeah. I guess the problem, though, is that if I bring out Tyranitar, it's going to be a close finish, I think. Okay, I'm definitely bringing out Dragapult right now. Or, sorry, Dusclops right now, because I have the speed advantage. So what I want to do, I think, is... These Aegislashes rarely carry Protect, actually. I think Trick Rooming here is fine. I also could Ally Switch. I don't really see much point in doing that. Unless +2 Phantasm doesn't... No, we have the defense drop that's definitely KOing us, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to max Quake into Aegislash. And Trick Room. You should Phantasm always into Dusclops. I could have maybe max Quake Dragapult twice. That might have been enough for a KO. I didn't know the Life Orb damage calc there very well. Okay. So this is why, I mean, it shows you how, like, even if you miss Sleep Powder, it's not the end of the world, but if you hit it, it could be very, very advantageous if you're not... Depends on what your opponent goes for, obviously, but let's see. Yep, Phantasm. Oh! Okay, so they give us Trick Room. That I'm very surprised about. Wondering if they were reading an ally switch there, or reading me to switch out into Tyranitar. I think now then we should be in a really good spot. Depends on what the last one is and how good of a matchup it has against us. But now we have the Bulldoze Tyranitar combination off. So that's good. Okay. Yeah. And you can't even fake out Dusclops. There's no redirection to really ignore the Bulldoze. Is that Arcanine? Oh, beautiful. That's exactly what we want to see. Okay. We still have to play this next turn smartly, I think. I'm just worried about close combat Arcanine right now. I don't have a guaranteed win here yet, I think. He's one turn of max left. +2 offenses. We know it's Phantom Force. Like, what I wanted, the safe play is to just crunch, right? Is to crunch and Bulldoze. The only fear is if he's, close combat. Wait, actually, I mean, Dragapult never one-shots Tyranitar here, right? So I feel like it's safer to just Rock Slide and Bulldoze. Yeah, I think that's fine. You don't protect, but I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, if Rock Slide double connects, I think that's just game over. Because even if you knock out Tyranitar with a +2 Warm Wind, I should do enough damage where Nightshade KOs Dragapult after Dynamax ends. Okay, Rock Slide hits. Perfect. Okay, great. Nice, 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 nice. So it's interesting because we have Tyranitar over Rhyperior, and the value of Tyranitar is being able to change the way. Ooh, Steel Spike. I mean, Dynamax ends now. I'm pretty sure Nightshade KOs Dragapult from the range that it's at, but if not, we actually lose. Maybe I was too afraid of Will-O-Wisp. I mean, I think it took enough damage. There's no way that survives the Nightshade, I think. Yeah, that definitely should be in KO range. So, I mean, Bulldoze Crunch is safer. We didn't know the Dragapult's full moveset there, and I was expecting Airstream, but I think Nightshade here should just do it. So let's see. If this has enough HP to survive, I'm going to cry, I think. Okay, it does, but Sand should KO it because you take Sand damage first and then Grassy Terrain. Oh my goodness, that was intense. That was a really, really intense 2 games today. Yeah, I don't think I played like perfectly in either game, but it's our first time playing with the team, so we're still learning. Game 1, I should have just stuck with my guns because I felt like my Trick Room matchup, like if I get Trick Room up, I'm in a pretty good spot. So if I just went for the Togekiss Dusclops lead, I could have just gone for turn 1, follow me Trick Room, bring in Tyranitar, Bulldoze, Rock Slide, and go from there. But I didn't, and so it was a little bit more difficult, and then the Snorlax made it tricky. And I also messed up a bunch of turns in that first game. For example, the Heat Wave over Earth Power to guarantee the KO to Dracozolt. And then not going for Heat Wave the subsequent turn because I was afraid just from the previous turn on not KOing. And then the third turn was not going for the ally switch with the or the Dusclops. But that was a game where it's like I didn't play super well, and like there were some bad rolls in my favor or went against me. So even if I make the same moves, that game might play out a little bit differently. For example, if Snorlax gets a flinch with that first, if it connects in that Rock Slide, if we get a flinch and we wake up earlier, a lot of different factors when you involve sleep. But the point is that I didn't play optimally to prevent myself from being in that position. Those are 2 really fun games, though. Yeah, that last one was kind of scary. I was just really worried about Dragapult guarding there and then Arcanine going for Will-O-Wisp or close combat onto Tyranitar. So we could have Bulldoze crunched there, but if he does have max guard, I don't know if close combat one-shots me, actually, unless you're banded. But if you do max guard and you have close combat and you one-shot me because your life orb were banded, I just lose the game instantly because then I don't win with Dusclops. So I think Bulldoze there is still fine. It's just scary because we miss Rock Slide on either Pokemon there. I think we might lose. So, yeah. You normally want to put yourself... Like, 80%, 81% is not bad, but it's still not, like, a super, super good percentage either. Obviously, if I hit that Sleep Powder in the second game, things become a little bit different as well. But you always want to maximize your odds. And especially with a team like this, where you have Sleep Powder, you have Rock Slide. Like, these are moves that are going to miss a fair amount of times, as we saw in today's episode. So you want to put yourself in positions where you're not 100% relying on them immediately. But the reason why I just went for Sleep Powder turn 1 in that last game was because I felt like even if you max, you're going to be targeting the Dusclops slot to deny Trick Room over Venusaur. So it's interesting that my opponent ended up targeting Venusaur, but I think what they were scared of was me not having, like, they didn't recognize, or they probably didn't think I had Tyranitar in the back, so they're like, I need to knock out Venusaur so that it doesn't sweep me outside. So that's why having both Venusaur and, like, the Trick Room option makes things really, really deadly. But yeah, those were some really fun games. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you on my stream in just a bit, and leave a like as always if you guys enjoyed. All right, see you soon. Peace.